So people must do that or they're going to hell. And they never really talk too much about love and all these things I'm learning with you here. So Buddhism is really much, how can I say, interesting, pure, realistic for me. So yeah, that's it basically.
Okay. Vidura, I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong. You have microphone, Vidura? Oh, okay. Vidura is 30 years old, from India, living in the UK. This week I had COVID from Monday. I'm feeling much better today. I didn't give up on meditation, even though I had to meditate lying down. I always kept bringing focus to the breath, like Bhante says, even in sickness. That's great. Okay, Zinnia, would you like to introduce yourself a little bit, say hello, and say a little bit about why you're here? Okay, I see Alex and Zimia are typing. How about Connor or Fountains? Fountains, did you get your microphone working?
Hey, I'm Fountains. I'm from Canada. I'm 31. I've just been enjoying having some people to meditate with because I've been kind of isolated here for the past 2 years. Um, yeah, it's just nice to have some people to spend time with, and I enjoy learning from you, Bante. So thank you.
Okay, glad you're here. And are you comfortable to use a first name here in the server, or is Fountains the one for you?
You can call me Catherine or Fountains.
Okay, Catherine. Great. Catharine.
Katharine.
Okay, Catherine. Glad you're here.
Thanks.
And Zinnia can't talk much, but it's late, but grateful to be here. Me too, Zinnia. There are a lot of places we could be right now, and we are here. So that's really quite nice. So many people would, love to be here or in a similar situation, healthy body, healthy mind, um, among well minded people, sincere people who wish for each other to be happy and peaceful and develop in wisdom, meditation. So, this is really a special place to be in. We can all feel grateful. How about Trucker? Would you like to introduce yourself and say hello and why you're here?
Hello. Um, yeah, I found you on Reddit, Humans Being Bros, and I really just enjoyed all of those talks. Um, got into Buddhism when things were really rough, and started reading, started learning how to meditate, and don't really have many folks around me who are into that kind of thing. So it's just really nice to find a community. And I'm a teacher. Uh, it's I find that it's helped me do my job and to help the kids. And I just feel like this is the best place I've been so far in my life. So yeah, thank you.
Great. And do you have a first name you're comfortable to use here that you can make
Sure,
your...
Corey.
How to spell it?
Cory.
C-R...
No,
C-O-R-Y.
Cory. Yes.
C-O-R-Y. Okay. Oh, Catherine. Yeah. All right. All right. So we have all introduced ourselves to varying degrees. Also, Alex says they wrote out their introduction. Hello, my name is Alex. I'm 22. Like Katie, I'm not comfy with my voice. I have severe anxiety and panic attacks. I am an atheist, but Buddhism has always intrigued me. I go to the gym every day, and I have a singing bowl that I use every night. It has really calmed me down, and I love these meditation talks. So thank you so much. Well, thank you, Alex, so much for being here. So we are all here now, and we have introduced ourselves to varying degrees. And I think from hearing the introduction of the other people here, we can know that we are safe in this space, that this is a good company to be in, and that everyone's intentions here are quite wholesome, quite simple and direct. To meditate, to listen to wisdom, and to be in a safe space together for facing our lives, for being intimate with this moment. So let's start our meditation practice, our meditation period. What we're going to do today is to meditate for a bit, have some guidance with meditation, and then we are going to listen to some teachings together, some deep Buddhist wisdom teachings. And for the kind of teachings that we are listening to, we have to open up to our experience, to really face not just our thinking and not just our way of perceiving the world, but to face the facing, to be aware of the awareness, to listen from our experience rather than our perspectives that we might have. So to start with meditation, we always need to find a comfortable, stable position. Well, we can meditate in any position, but when we have that real intention to practice meditation formally, we should always start by finding a comfortable, stable position for the body. Finding a position where our body can be somewhat still, somewhat settled. It's most important that we are comfortable and that we aren't like holding the body up, but the body is just holding itself up from this balance point. And we can take a deep breath and bring our shoulders back, open up our chest and our stomach. And as we breathe out, relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the body. letting gravity do its work so we can feel the presence of the body, the weight of the body. So as our body becomes still, breathing in deeply, we can bring the mind home to the body, feeling the effect, the feeling of the breath, maybe in the stomach, maybe in the chest, the lungs expanding and contracting, feeling the breath in the body, feeling the whole body breathing. And as we are breathing, it's just like the whole body becomes more and more full of our awareness, our presence, our attention. A sense of curiosity, a sense of interest in the body, in the experience of the body right now. And a sense of really being intrigued, our curiosity kind of brought up by this. What is happening right now, this present moment experience? The whole body sitting here, the mind directed onto this present moment, breathing happening, this process of breathing, flowing in and flowing out. So our whole life comes down to the body just sitting here, just breathing, and continuously being aware, continuously noticing. Allowing the whole body and mind, our whole lives, without any debate or justification, to concentrate one pointedly in this practice of just sitting here, just breathing, just being aware. All kinds of thoughts or distractions or states of sleepiness or too much force come up. At that time, it's as simple as allowing our attention to come back, to rely on just breathing. in the midst of the good, the bad, the beautiful, the ugly, the like, the dislike. We just practice to rely, to stay with, to lean into just breathing. This is our way of looking at, facing exactly what is happening right now. And that exactly what is happening right now couldn't be put into words. So we don't need to rely on words. We need to rely on just breathing. Breathing in and sustaining our awareness, our attention. As we breathe in, we know we are breathing in. As we breathe out, we know we are breathing out. So each and every moment in our meditation practice, we are delving into this world of generosity, this willingness to experience sensations, thoughts, difficulties, or pleasures, and to be willing to give them up. Not to hold on to them. So we're going to read a teaching today. This is from the book Being Good, Buddhist Ethics for Everyday Life. You're encouraged to stay in your meditation mindset, your meditation way of being, as we listen to these wonderfully wise and rich teachings. The way to practice. If your mind is in balance, what need is there to work at morality? If your behavior is correct, what use is meditation to you? If you understand mercy, then you will naturally care for your parents. If you understand faithful conduct, then all of society will be in order. A balanced mind. Mental balance results from understanding that self-respect is a natural outgrowth of having respect for others. If we know how to respect others, then we will know how to respect ourselves. If we know how to respect ourselves, then we will seldom feel anxious or moody. Our minds will be in balance, and our practice of morality will seem effortless. This is why Hui Nang made the above remarks in the Platform Sutra of the Sixth Patriarch. That was the first paragraph that we read. Another reason he made the above remarks is he wanted to help us free ourselves from having an oppressive sense of morality or moral duty. Many people believe that a moral lifestyle can be confining or stifling because they can conceive of it only as a serious abridgment of their freedom, a serious kind of interference with their freedom. To people of this type, agreeing to be moral feels like signing an unwanted contract. However, nothing could be further from the truth. Morality is the only way to make yourself truly free. When you understand this, you will realize that the moral injunctions taught by the Buddha are keys to our liberation. These keys do not lock us into a narrow prison cell. They free us from our narrow cell. Once one has been freed from the bonds of delusion, one achieves a mental balance that almost makes the observance of morality unnecessary. So, what's being touched on here is that When someone, maybe a Buddhist monk, advises us or encourages us to prioritize this way of being good or following the precepts, we feel that it's a kind of constraint. The moral framework that the Buddha offers, something like do not kill, do not take what is not given, be careful about overindulging in sensual pleasure, do not speak harshly, do not lie, and to refrain, to abstain from intoxicants, drugs, alcohol, different things that intoxicate the mind. And so when we hear that, there's this idea that somehow that is going to limit us or set up boundaries for our freedom in our lives. But actually, these kinds of things imprison us. Our addictions, our attachments, our overindulging in sensuality imprison us. And when we can begin not to follow, not to be a perfect moral person, but to prioritize and emphasize morality in our lives, goodness in our lives, we start to open up our life. We can go more places with calm and ease because we carry with us this sense of goodness, this sense of not just doing what we want to do because we desire it, but instead being free, being detached in the face of our desire, in the face of our selfishness, not being imprisoned, but instead having the keys of skillful living, living ethically. Correct behavior. The purpose of meditation is to settle the mind and allow it to look directly at itself. A deluded and egocentric mind may benefit somewhat from meditation, but no one can make real progress in understanding the mind through meditation unless they simultaneously begin bringing their behavior into accord with Buddhist morality. So not just to do meditation, but also to take the precepts, to follow the precepts in our daily lives. You know, if you're meditating for an hour a day or 2 hours a day, but then you're running around arguing with people, yelling at people, lying, stealing, these kinds of things, even if it's subtle, even if it's small, you're not going to make real progress because you're in your normal, regular activities, you're still perpetuating this strong sense of a self that is continuing. Hui Nang said, "If your behavior is correct, what use is meditation to you?" He said this to emphasize the importance of morality, not to downplay the importance of meditation. Hui Nang was one of the greatest Zen masters who ever lived. In this statement, like the one before it, he is trying to free us from feeling that our practice must be difficult or oppressive, or that it has no further goal than itself. Once our minds have achieved balance, morality will flow naturally, almost effortlessly. And once we have learned to behave well in all circumstances, our lives will be in accord with the deepest levels of meditation. How we actually treat other people is the best standard we have to judge ourselves. How they treat us, what we are getting from the world, the depth of our meditation, these are secondary. So in this practice of reflection, introspection, contemplation, we can especially look at how we are acting towards others, how we are interacting with others, how we are expressing ourselves towards others, how we are thinking about others. This is really the judge or the standard in which we can determine, where we're at in our practice. Not so much what we are getting from the world or the positions that people put us in, or the depth of our meditation, or how people treat us. These are all secondary. So it's really about how you are acting, how you are thinking about others. So that's correct behavior. Mercy. If you understand mercy, then you will naturally care for your parents. Huineng used the word mercy in this verse. This word can also be translated into English as grace or kindness. En, or mercy, is close in meaning to the word compassion. En, however, contains the idea that one should repay whatever mercy or kindness one has received from others. In Chinese, to feel en towards someone means to be grateful to them for something they have done for us. In this line, Huineng is saying that once one's sense of gratitude is developed, one naturally will be inclined to respect and care for one's parents as well as other sentient beings. So we have a comment here on the YouTube from Martin Powell, who says, I'm done apologizing to myself for how I interact with the world. This is not so much about what is being pointed to here. What is being pointed to here is that the best standard for your level of understanding, your level of peace, your level of wisdom, is not how other people are treating you, but how you are treating other people, how you think about other people. So if we are walking around angry at people, hateful towards them, judgmental towards them, wishing that problems happen to them, then this is the quality of our mind. This is how we interact with, in a very subtle level, this is how we interact with ourselves. This is how we see ourselves. If someone is in a deep state of bliss and happiness and freedom, they are going to see other people in a compassionate, kind, and gentle way. If someone is in a state of suffering and conflict and difficulty and confusion, they are going to see people and judge other people in the world from that kind of position, from that kind of perspective. So it's not so much about apologizing about how you interact with the world. It's about recognizing that how you interact with the world is an example of how your mind really is. In this line, if you understand mercy, then you will naturally care for your parents. In this line, Huineng is saying that once one's sense of gratitude is developed, one naturally will be inclined to respect and care for one's parents as well as all other sentient beings. This verse does not mean that we should expect to profit from acts of kindness towards others. It only means that we should all deeply appreciate how much others have done for us. Appreciation of others is a fundamental starting point for the successful practice of Buddhism. So everyone here, all of us here and everyone in the world, we have only gotten to where we are through the help and the support, it's selfless in many cases, help and support of innumerable sentient beings, innumerable human beings, adults, children, grandparents, parents, people who went out of the way, who sacrificed, who gave up their own selfishness to support us, to benefit us, to help us. So recognizing that, we can naturally feel a gratitude. We can naturally deeply appreciate how much others, how much we have been supported and brought to this point by other beings. And this is a starting point, this appreciation of others, this recognition of how much we have received is a starting point for the successful practice of Buddhism. And once you start to realize about how much you have received, how much support you have gotten, you can be inspired easily to support others, to help others, to be involved in this giving back what you've received, which is so much generosity, so much support, so much care. And so we want to get involved in the business of giving back that generosity, that support. And finally, faithful conduct. If you understand faithful conduct, then all of society will be in order. Faithful conduct here means right conduct, right action, right view. If all of us were to follow the Noble Eightfold Path, then society would be in order. In these verses, Hui Nang has asked us to turn our awareness inward and concentrate on the sources of our consciousness and behavior. Hui Nang has asked us to turn our awareness inward and concentrate on the sources of our consciousness and behavior. So what is the source of your mind? What is the source of your selfhood? What is the source of your behavior? We turn the mind inward, we turn our attention inward, and we investigate this great matter. This is the fundamental work of Buddhist practice. All the methods of Buddhism come down to nothing much more than this. When we see ourselves as we really are, we see the truth. We see the Buddha within. Master Pu Ming asked, "What is Buddha nature?" Master Hsing Ze replied, "You have no Buddha nature." Master Pu Ming said, "All creatures, including insects, have Buddha nature. Why do you say that I do not have one?" Master Hsing Ze replied, "Because you are looking for it outside of yourself." Master Pu Ming said, "Then how do I find it?" Master Hsing Ze said, "You will not find it by covering it up." Master Pu Ming said, "Then how do I find it?" Master Hsing Ze said, "By giving it up." So this is the answer to a lot of people's questions about, I try to do good, I try to be kind, but I don't get what I want. You're still looking outside. You're still trying to get something. But to find your deeper nature, to find your true nature, to see your Buddha nature, it's not about doing and getting. It's really about giving up, letting go. And if you are doing good deeds and find that yourself isn't getting what you want, that's great. This is going to support you in detachment, in mindfulness, in recognizing the importance and the necessity of doing good deeds more and more. You can't just do a few things and then the world becomes as you like it, or all suffering comes to an end. But actually, you need to do good deeds more and more. You need to be mindful more and more. You need to practice detachment more and more without a self, without a me or a mine or a person or a place, but doing only, experiencing only, using only, offering only. We have to detach from this contrived, self-fixated narrative. We have to do more and more good deeds, more and more acts of generosity, and we need to use this self-fixation to find a pathway to practice like this, to find a pathway that has these supporting factors for mindfulness and detachment, for generosity, for doing good deeds more and more. Use your self-fixation not to be worked up about why you aren't getting what you want, even though you do good things, but use this self-fixation to sign up, to register for volunteering at a homeless shelter, for attending a meditation retreat, for finding a way that you can volunteer, that you can offer, that you can share with the world in a good way. Great acts of goodness without expecting anything in return. Sharing your faults, sharing your shameful confusions and ways that you have expressed yourself. And burying, getting rid of, detaching from those good deeds. You don't hold on to them. You do and detach. You plant the seed, you cover it up, and you continue. Whereas those bad seeds that you plant, those weeds that you plant, you can rip it up out of the ground and show it to everyone. Look at this weed that I've planted. Look at this unskillful seed that I have planted. In this way, we all develop a lot of wisdom and understanding and compassion for each other. We can also become more humble. So at this time, take a moment to stretch out if you need to. And when you're stretched out, find your meditation position. I like to sit in a half lotus position. So that's kind of cross-legged position, but however you're comfortable and stable, you can sit like that. And I will read this short koan or this short Zen story as our kind of invitation to our meditation together before we finish today. Master Pu Ming asked, "What is Buddha nature?" Master Xingzhe replied, "You have no Buddha nature." Master Pu Ming said, "All creatures, including insects, have Buddha nature. Why do you say that I do not have one?" Master Xingzhe replied, "Because you are looking for it outside of yourself." Master Pu Ming said, "Then how do I find it?" Master Xingzhe said, "You will not find it by covering it up." Master Pu Ming said, "Then how do I find it?" Master Xingzhe said, "By giving it up." So let's give it up together, practicing just sitting just breathing, just being aware.
Your meeting? Oh, well, we started 6. You started 8, right?
Our meditation practice is really something to be enjoyed. It is the joy of investigation. It is the joy of facing, the joy of intimacy. And the wonderful thing about it is that it's not about doing it right. It's not about a particular period of time. It's not about a level that you get to, even if you've been doing this for 20, 30 years. It is at this very moment to just be here fully, to face fully this moment, just sitting, just breathing, just being aware. So we will finish our practice today with the chanting of sadhu 3 times. Sadhu is this traditional Buddhist word that has the meaning of excellent, wonderful, great job. So we give ourselves a pat on the back for our sincere meditation practice together. All right. So everyone is invited to bring their hands together and chant along with me. Sadhu. 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 Okay, thank you all for joining. Grateful for your practice and looking forward to seeing you again. Okay? Be happy, everyone. And two final question that had brought up that I should answer before we go. Anna had said about showing our bad deeds or sharing our bad deeds. Wouldn't this possibly contribute to self-hate speech? No, this is more a practice of dissolving the ego. So when we do a good thing, we want to tell everyone about it. When we do a bad thing, we want to do it in secret. We want to hide it. So this practice of, when you make a mistake, to admit it, to share it, it's just to shift this selfishness around. So you you detach it, you break the crust off of this this attachment way of doing things. So if you do something good, you hide it. You do it in secret. You don't tell other people about it. Do good deeds in secret. And when you make, keep silent. When you are right or when you do good, keep silent. And then when you do make a mistake or you have an error or something like that, then you say, I made a mistake. You share it. But this is about the spiritual practice of detachment, of lessening the force and the power of the ego. It's not about you being ridiculous in practical situations. You work at, you work at a McDonald's or you work at some kind of office and you make some kind of mistake and then you go to your manager and get yourself in trouble. That's not what I'm talking about. It's more your spiritual practice of switching around those things that you think they are good. You want to add them to the ego, and the things that you are bad, you want to hide and get rid of. So you switch it around. Those things that are bad, unskillful, you recognize them. You're much less attached to the ego. You much less pride and arrogance. And those good things, you put them down, you let them go. You detach from them. And the other comment was from Free Taco about the amount of time and years that someone has been having a meditation practice and intentionally cultivating it while living an ordinary life as well could have an impact on what that person can or cannot do, amongst other things. Sure, if you're a carpenter for 10 years, you're a carpenter for 10 years, and if you are not, you are not. But the guidance or the instruction that I was talking about is to be mindful is only to be mindful at this moment. To detach is only to detach at this moment. Your success or failure in meditation practice has nothing to do with your past or future successes. It is the success of your willingness to turn the mind inward at this moment. To be here now with sincerity, with an open-heartedness, with a deepened mind at this present moment. And you can't carry around with you a ticket from your past meditation experience to do that. It's all about what you are doing right here at this moment. So then, even if you come to the meditation late, or even if you are 50-year-old and it's your first time meditating, or 80-year-old and it's your first time meditating, you're not starting behind the pack. You're starting where we are all starting, and that is at this very precious moment. This present direct experience of turning the mind around and investigating the source of your consciousness, the source of your behaviors. Okay? So, see you all again soon, all right? Take care.